What happens to parental rights when someone is incarcerated? Do they forfeit their rights? Should they? Well, it depends. According to the Department of Correctional Services, 97% of inmates are male. It is estimated that 60% of South African children have absent fathers. Of course, not all absent fathers are incarcerated, but inmates represent a proportion of the men whose children face life without their fathers. What rights do those fathers have? A parent's rights and responsibilities are not automatically taken away if a parent is imprisoned. The High Court, as the upper guardian of all children in South Africa, might become involved if a parent or guardian is unable to fulfill their duties. Care of a child could be transferred to another parent or even a third party if appropriate. The best interests of the child is the guiding principle at all times. However, let's assume the child is living with a caring parent or guardian and is well looked after. There is no need to remove the child from the home. The question is, what rights should the parent in custody have? And the answer to this will be influenced by the nature of the crime they were sentenced for and whether or not they pose a risk to the child's well-being. If a man has been convicted of a crime of violence against the child's mother and or against the child, is it reasonable for them to retain all of their parental rights and responsibilities? Many women live in fear of their abuser being released from prison. Yet if the abuser still has parental rights, he may come out of prison and expect to be involved in his child's life. If there is no evidence of abuse against the child, there may be little the mother can do to prevent this, yet it may place her in immediate danger. What can she do? Holders of parental rights and responsibilities, in this case the mother the child lives with, may apply to the High Court or the Children's Court for an order either suspending or terminating any or all of the parental responsibilities and rights the father has in respect of a child, extending or circumscribing the exercise by the father of any or all of his parental responsibilities and rights. In other words, a man who has been abusive towards the mother of his child may be refused the right to contact the child on the grounds that it may be harmful to their social well-being. If permitted, such contact may need to take place under supervision. When considering an application to terminate a parent's rights and responsibilities, the court must take into account the following: the best interests of the child, the relationship between the child and the person whose parental responsibilities and rights are being challenged, the degree of commitment the person has shown towards the child, and any other factor that should, in the opinion of the court, be taken into account. For example, history of violence. I believe children need both parents. The high proportion of children growing up without their fathers has been associated with poor mental well-being and a risk of social ills. It is in everyone's interest to enable fathers to stay involved in their children's lives, even if incarcerated. However, South Africa is also a country with staggeringly high rates of gender-based violence. Children who witness domestic abuse suffer lasting trauma. Therefore, they need protection from a parent who may abuse the other parent. These judgments can only be made on a case-by-case basis. I have deep experience of helping families in difficult circumstances. I will do everything in my power to facilitate parent-child relations, if appropriate, but I can also secure a protection order against the father if it's in the child's best interests. If you have concerns about any issues I've raised in this talk, give me a call on the number in the signature below.